My name's Jeff with Filter Sciences, and we're here to talk to you today a little bit about probably the biggest question we get asked, and that's about sizing and flow on bag filter housings. And I want to try to simplify it a little bit here today and use some common rules of thumb that don't apply to every application, but apply to a lot of them. So think of these as rules of thumb that are not always true. There's a lot of exceptions, but it's going to make it a little bit easier for sizing. And unfortunately, I don't like the way our industry sizes number 2 bags in a filter housing, because they size the flow without the bag. So obviously that doesn't make a lot of sense because most people use the bag in a bag filter housing. But today I want you to think of the housing as the flange size, okay? And this is an 8-inch housing here, and it holds 8 number 2 bags. The liquid comes in down here through this 8-inch flange, maintains an 8-inch line all the way up to the top, hits the dome, and then is distributed over the 8 number 2 baskets, okay? So if you think of it as an 8-inch line for an 8-inch filter, for a 6-inch filter, a 6-inch line, 4-inch line, same thing. So if you look at the maximum you can get through this filter housing, it's the flange and the 8-inch line, okay? It's not the number of bags, because regardless of how many bags you put in the housing, it's the flange and line that are going to be your restriction. So let's take the 8-inch line as an example. And obviously, we can change the pressure to change the velocity. There's a lot of things to take into consideration when figuring out flow head, the pump you're using. But to simplify this, we're going to look at 2 scenarios with an 8-inch line. Let's just talk about an 8-inch line for right now. So roughly, if you're looking at an 8-inch line at 6 feet per second, you're looking at 950 gallons per minute. That's the maximum you can put at 6 feet per second through an 8-inch line. If you go up to 8 feet per second, you can go up to 1900 gallons per minute. Again, we're just talking about an 8-inch line. So 950 up to 1900. Now, our 8-inch bag housing with the 8-inch flange, we rate at 1600 gallons per minute. So you can see it falls in between, but a lot depends on not only what size bag, how many bags are in here, at what micron level you're using, but how often you want to change the bags. And that's something that's often forgot, is it's not only about the flow, but how often do you want to change the bag. So let's get back to our 8-inch line. Okay, we talked about an 8-inch line can take at 6 feet per second, 950 GPM, 8 feet per second, 1900 gallons per minute. Okay, and we rate this housing at 1600 gallons per minute, which is about 200 gallons per bag. Now, that's with what I would consider a 200 micron bag and above. I would rate each bag at 200 gallons per minute. Now, the smaller micron bag, we like to use the following rule of thumb. If it's greater than 200 micron or greater, 200 gallons per minute, okay? Again, these are rules of thumb, but usually they're fairly accurate. If we're at 100 to 200 micron bags, I would rate these at 150 gallons per minute per bag. And then if we're less than 100 micron, I'm going to say 100 GPM per number 2 bag. Now, obviously, if you get down to 1 micron or 5 micron, that's going to change things. But these are just rules of thumb. But really, getting back to also talking about frequency of bag changes, you have to take that into consideration. It's not just about flow. For example, the difference between a 6-bag filter pod and an 8-bag filter pod is you're going to increase the filtration by 33% going from a 6-bag to an 8-bag. So that same 33%, you're going to increase the filtration. You're going to decrease the amount of bag changes by 33%. And probably most importantly, you're going to reduce your labor by 33%. So just think about these multi-bag housings in the format of pipe size. So an 8-inch, a 6-inch, a 2-inch, your maximum flow through there is going to be through that flange. Doesn't matter how many bags you put in here, okay? You're still going to be restricted by that flange and pipe that goes through the filter housing. So I hope that was helpful. You know, obviously, if you have an application that's very specific, or you'd like to go over this with one of our field engineers, please give us a call. You know, at Filter Sciences, we focus on one thing and one thing only, and that's bag filter housings. We've been in the filtration business for over 35 years. Give us an opportunity to earn your business. When you call, you talk to a field engineer. You're not going to get voicemail. You're not going to get a runaround. So give us a call, and remember, we sell stainless steel for what a lot of our competitors price carbon steel at. So give us a call. Let us give you a quote. Thank you.